This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
And good morning, everyone, and welcome to INC Radio Florida. I'm one of your hosts this morning, Brother Robert Topalis, coming to you from, I'm going to have to say, cloudy Tampa, Florida today, because we definitely are not sunny. We had an overnight storm that came through, which is, of course, a great predecessor to what, as we here in Florida, refer to as the start of hurricane season. But, of course, that still did not prevent my wonderful guests and panel and hosts from joining us here this morning on INC Radio. But, of course, today is Saturday, 31st of May. It's about 9:01 in the morning here on the East Coast of the United States, which means it's a little past 9 o'clock there in the Philippines. So we thank you so much for staying up to watch us late. Maganda umaga, maganda gabi. I think it's really more what it is for those that are there in the Philippines. And we'd also like to greet, of course, all of our international viewers who are joining us this morning. We're going to be talking about a very special event that happened this past the weekend prior. It was during here in the United States during the holiday weekend we have here, and that was this past Monday. We had a joint Unity Games, which united the entire state of Florida. As you know, the District of Florida, of course, is comprised of all of our various congregations that are here, but we also have congregations in the Caribbean and, of course, Miami and West Palm, which joined us for our Florida State Unity Games. But before we get started on recapping that glorious event, I wanted to welcome my very handsome hosts that we have joining us here today, and lovely hosts as well. I'd like to have them introduce themselves. We've got Brother RJ. Brother RJ, can you introduce yourself, please?
Good morning, brothers and sisters. My name is Brother RJ from the locale of Orlando, Florida, and I'm so excited to be here. Of course, I'm the district mini president, but also one of the organizers helping for the Unity Games as well, and also a district multimedia officer. So glad to be here, Paul, being able to share maybe some insight on what happened in our past Unity Games this weekend, Paul.
Awesome. Thank you, Brother RJ, and definitely not only a man of many talents, but as you can see here, also a very good-looking gentleman. So we'd like to also toss it over to Brother Eduardo, who's joining us from up north. Brother Eduardo, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, hello, Paul. Good morning, Paul. I'm Brother Eduardo. I'm from the local congregation of Jacksonville. And just like what Brother RJ said, I was also an organizer as a district Cadeo sports chairperson for our past Unity Games. But again, very excited, very happy to be here. So thank you for having me, Paul.
All right. Well, and we're excited to talk to you about all the organizing that happened, and also what the impact and the reaction of many of the brethren there, because I know we had a big turnout from our locales in Jacksonville, Brother Eduardo, so we're excited to talk to you about that. We also have joining us here one of our hosts as well as a player in this past Unity Games, in a sport that is definitely up and coming and becoming super popular. That's pickleball. Brother Tristan, good morning. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Brother Tristan Sullivan from the locale of Tampa, Florida. As Brother Robert mentioned, I had the opportunity to play pickleball in this past Unity Games, which was really fun. Definitely a sport I would recommend people get into. Really trendy right now for sure, but a lot of fun to play. Excited to be able to talk about my experience and really share what was so great about Unity Games.
Awesome. Well, yeah, and I'm excited to hear how you went from first-time amateur to like pro-level player all during the course of the Unity Games. I got to watch you play, Brother Tristan, so there's some pretty amazing moves that we're going to be talking about. And I'm also very pleased to welcome our wonderful co-host, my wonderful co-host there in Orlando, Sister Joy. Good morning to you, Sister Joy, the name that evokes the emotion that everyone experiences when they get to talk to you.
and emotion I am certainly full of. That's why I am known as joyful, right? Thank you, everyone, for tuning in with us. Happy Saturday. We're always delighted to have everyone tune in with us, and especially for our panel who is joining us today. We are so happy to have all of you with us. So, again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, especially to those of you who are tuning in from the Philippines. We're so grateful. So make sure that you do let us know in our YouTube chat where you are tuning in from, because we always love to hear where you are watching from. And we are really, really excited to talk about all things that we are united with, especially Unity Games right here in the District of Florida. So thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, and I couldn't think of a better name for the event than that.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. It's the Unity Games, and
Mhm.
and I thought I saw somebody join us here also just a couple of seconds ago who's representing one of our basketball events here, brother Edu Santos, I think, joining us, but I think he may be coming back online here in just a second. As soon as he does, we're going to go ahead and welcome him as well. Because I want to hear about basketball. That was such a big, I mean,
Yes.
I honestly, Sister Joy, I didn't think at first pickleball could be as exciting as it was. Because, you watch basketball and it's just
Yes.
this nonstop, just
Oh, it's
back and
fun.
forth, and just the adrenaline is pumping. But, you cannot
Agreed.
sleep on pickleball, because the pickleball, when you think about pickleball and how it started, it was a game that was played mostly by retirees. But then all of a sudden,
Nope, not anymore.
the cheering, the athleticism involved. But we can't ignore the fact that still one of the most exciting sports to play and watch is basketball. So we'd like to welcome from here in Tampa, brother Edu Santos.
Yes.
Brother Edu, can you
Good
please
morning.
introduce yourself?
Good
Good
morning
morning.
po. My name's Edward Santos po. I represent the Tampa basketball po for Buklod po.
All right. Yeah. Represent dominating the boards. That's what I was seeing. So we're going to talk about that a little more here in just a minute. But, we're going to go ahead and get started because there are just a lot of things to talk about. And we're so glad that all of you were able to join us this morning. And we get to relive the joy. I'm going to have to use that analogy there. The joy of the
I
game.
love it. I love that because I'm full of it, right? I'm joyful.
Yeah. You've got to thank your mom and dad for that name, because it's just like the most incredible name I could think of.
You know what? I do have a little bit of a story. That is actually one of the reasons why my mom named me Joy. My brother's name is Mark. So she said, I mark my life with joy.
Oh, are you serious?
I am so serious. Yeah. So I'm Joy. He's Mark.
I feel so inadequate. There's nothing about my name that's relevant. It's just Robert. That's it. That's there's nothing exciting about my name. Sorry.
You are the excitement of it.
Oh no. So Kuyatek, if you could put us in thumbnail mode, please. We'll go ahead and we'll just start the presentation to talk about all of the excitement that was the Unity Games. Because
just looking at these photos already.
And the part that I think everybody loves about the Unity Games is the parade. It just kicks everything off, right? The Unity Games, you have all the excitement. People are trying to get themselves pumped up and hyped up. I don't know, later on as we speak to brother Edu and myself, you're going to realize that our voices are gone because Tampa decided that if we're going to be short on players, we're going to be very, very high on spirit. So we were just screaming and pumping up everybody. I think you could see that intensity in our faces. It's either that or maybe I might have stepped on something and my foot's hurt, because if you're looking at the photo, looks like I'm in a lot of pain. But that was us cheering on. But the parade of colors, it's a tradition in the Unity Games, and I think it is just an important part, because it just really kind of kicks off the whole thing, right? And everyone starts to really get pumped up for that, because it starts pretty early. I mean, when I asked brother Eduardo, who's here, I'm going to have to be careful because we have a brother Edu and a brother Eduardo. So brother Eduardo is an organizer. When you're setting up things like wanting to organize the parade, for example, and making sure that happens, it's usually something you have to do very early, in the morning, but yet still have everybody super excited. What kind of goes into thinking about, well, what's the timeline going to look like? Because a lot of these brethren traveled super far.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you guys decide, like, what was the timeline going to look like for that?
Well, as organizers, we're usually the first ones to have to be there, right?
What time did you guys arrive?
So, a lot of us were there around 6:30 in the morning
Oh, wow.
at the venue. Yeah,
Yeah, that is.
pretty early. That's all right.
6 a.m. for CFO organizers is nothing, right? Because I think everybody.
Yeah.
For us regular
Very
brethren,
straight.
it's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's not counting all the prep that goes into it too, right? And the love that comes in behind that, the traveling. But that's definitely, that is early, especially in a day that is really like you could be sleeping in, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and
that is
both you, Sister Joy, and Brother Edu, you're both district booklet officers, which
Yes po.
which meant that you had, on top of just participating, also had
Mhm.
additional responsibilities. I know Sister Joy would set up, and Brother Edu, can you tell us a little bit about what you and Sister Liza were also part of in getting everything prepared?
We were part of. She was tasked to do the art po at the Unity Games. I
You know
just
what?
helped
I love
handing
this.
her the balloons and stuff. That's all I did.
It's funny because for those of you who don't know, Brother Edu and Sister Liza, they're a team. Not only are they a team, they're a booklet team, right? You're married,
Yes
and
po.
they have a family. And for them, and CFO is the heart of, a family, right?
Mhm.
Family's the heart. And for a dynamic duo like Brother Edu and Sister Liza, right? To be, to just take on a task and say, yes, I want, not only am I going to be there, am I going to be present, but my family and I were also going to actively participate in this
Yes po.
activity, right? By
Mhm.
contributing. I mean, that you all are my heroes. I want to be like you when I grow up, because that's really, that is CFO right there, right? You're present,
Yes
you're
po.
there, you're
Mhm.
and then your kids see it too, because
Yes
they're
po.
like, Mama, Dada, what are you guys doing? We're making balloons for mini games. So it's really nice to see.
Yes po.
Yeah.
When you ask Noah, well, Mama made that. Mama made that.
Oh,
He
see,
would
look,
say
he's
that.
proud
Yes po.
too.
Well, isn't that the whole epitome of what the CFO is about? It's a family affair, right?
Yeah.
You want it to be a family affair because as your kids, and we've talked about this actually on previous shows, that as your kids grow up and they see you being
Mhm.
active as parents and participating in these activities and sacrificing, right? And it's not a sacrifice if it's something that you love. It's not a
Neighbors
sacrifice, it's
love,
something you
yes.
enjoy. And
Yes.
when they see that you love what you're doing and that you put your heart into it, that even if they're super young, like Noah is, right? How old is Noah, brother?
Turning 3 po.
He's like turning 3, right? But he gets to see, right? He's got all that ball of energy, but he gets to witness his parents doing this and staying up late, getting there early, and still, having the happiness and the joy that they have. I'm going to count how many times I say the word joy today. Now that you've told me the source of your name, so I'm going to start a hash mark here. So, but being able to do that and have your children witness it, I think, is such an important component because that allows them through osmosis. You don't even have to tell them. You're doing it through actions as an example. And we talked about that in the last show about building resilience, right? It's how you show your children performing, not just talking about it. And I think that's such an important part in them understanding what it's like to be a true Christian, is doing this to help all of these brethren. Because when you look at these pictures, how happy all of these brethren are. And I do have to point out, though, bottom right photo, the Winter Garden photo, you could see this brother here who looks like he's breakdancing, right? On the bottom right, he looks like he's breakdancing, but he's not. He's actually holding a camera. And I got to shout out Brother RJ because being there that early in the morning, as Brother Eduardo mentioned, for many of them, but to have the energy to run back and forth between each locale that was parading. Then he had to run back to the main podium area where we were taking the group photos, and then back again. That was all day, folks. This may have been the first shot, from that was all day. So, Brother RJ, I got to know, how many pints of coffee did it take for you to be able to maintain that energy?
Well, it wasn't more coffee, but it was more actually protein shakes.
Protein shakes? Is that the secret? Okay.
I mean, it keeps you, for me at least, it keeps me like not being hungry, so that gives me the energy to keep going. But yeah, but what you mentioned about running around, that's definitely true, Paul, especially when you're district multimedia. Working in a fast-paced environment is what we're trained to do, Paul. So you got to make decisions quick. You got to think fast, Paul. So especially in this, having to switch between all the locales, and then also even in the games, making sure I get all my shots. Like using your legs, walking around, squatting down. It's a whole different workout that is always good, sore for the next day, but also a very fulfilling.
Well, I'll bet even though you didn't play basketball, your legs are probably sore by the end of the day, right?
Oh, yes.
Because I know that having to carry that equipment and running around back and forth between courts, because the venue, the Sports Edge venue, is pretty sizable. It's a pretty good sized venue, so there's a lot of running back and forth. I mean, I just got tired running, from watching pickleball to the concession stand to get another drink. I was exhausted. I can't imagine, you guys having to run up and down the court.
But you know what's great? That also this being also an inter-district activity, but having it with the District of Caribbean, and also being a district-wide activity in general, is that we have other officers to help. So even some of the other district multimedia from the District of Florida, and we even had some district multimedia from the District of Caribbean come in to help as well. So their help was also greatly appreciated, and they just went through the same thing just like I did as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, and shout out
Unity Games, right?
Absolutely, 100%. And a big shout out to down here on the bottom right of this. You could see some of our brethren that were there from West Palm. Miami was represented. The West Palm players, though, they came to play. They came to play pickleball. They're the pickleball foundation here, so they were definitely a challenge. But just seeing all of these locales represented here was really just awe-inspiring. And to me, the highlight is this next photo when you see just everyone together, right? It's hard to imagine when we're sitting, because you could see like me and Brother Edu are over here in the corner someplace. We're kind of tiny. You're gonna have to squint to see us, and the rest of us are spread out. But it's really until you see a photo like this that the district multimedia was able to capture that really helps to embody just how glorious of an event this was, right? And being able to see all of our district staff there, all the ministers and their wives from the district of both us here in Florida and in the Caribbean. I mean, it was, ran into people I hadn't seen in years, which I think was just, it's such an awesome experience to be able to do that. It really, we used to be one district.
Yeah.
Right?
And then the growth. I mean, so we're just speaking about growth wise, right? We've grown, with our congregations have grown, the volume of people have grown, but to also run into we're like, whoa, I remember when you two just got married and now you have 2 kids and the kids are bigger than me. I mean, it's like Brother RJ mentioned, Brother Robert, how you mentioned just running into, other brothers and sisters, and just spending that time together. And here we are. And you would think that being on an opposing team would be like, oh no, we're rivals. No, not at all. It's such a wonderful, a beautiful, incredible time that we're getting to spend with one another. And, we're longing for it, or some of our voices are lost, right? I know Sister Lisa's voice is probably still lost. Oh,
mine's still recovering.
Yes, exactly. But it's such an incredible time that we can all spend together. And no matter what we're tasked with, no matter what is going on, it again, that right there, I mean, doesn't that just, it fills your cup, it fills your heart with joy, right? When you see it.
Yep, I'm going to check that off. That's number 4. So, yeah, but and when you get to see this, I think the thing that really is just so, and you just mentioned it, is even though this is a competition technically, right? Because that's what unity games are. It's the spirit of fellowship that you see, and good sportsmanship, because basketball is a pretty intense sport.
It is.
And there's body contact. There's a lot of intensity in it because, of the drive to want to be able to score the basket or block a shot or do something like that. And so, there's a lot of unintentional body contact, but still, you watch professional basketball and like half the time the refs are spending their time trying to break up fights. Right. but here in the church, Brother Edu, I know you've had a few unintentional elbows to your chest during the game, right? As you're going up for a layup, but it's that spirit, right? Of just, it's a game. We're here to have a friendly Christian competition with each other.
Yes.
And what was that like to be able to play? Because you probably play basketball outside of an activity like this, and it's probably a very different attitude, right?
Totally different. They were all nice. They're very competitive, but outside pool, it's a lot of more body contact than usual, and they're really trying to get you, foul you hard. But in church, it's different. They're very competitive, but they're all friendly.
Which makes, and we did have refs that were here for scoring purposes primarily, which is always, I think, a good idea, because
I think so. Yes,
you want to make it as fair as possible too, because even though in the middle of it being a Christian competition, you still want those that are really making an effort to play to really see that their effort is being recognized, right? So that's why it's important to have professional refs that are there too, to keep the game going the way it was going, which is fantastic, right? But yeah, this shot right here. So big shout out to our multimedia team for this awesome composition that they're able to do. These are my favorite shots. Anytime we have an activity, when you attend an activity like this, whether it's like an INC giving, whether it's a Care for Humanity project, we all work in our little sort of bubble, right? We all have our tasks, and you do your job in that little thing, or like even like our booklet nights.
Yes.
We did this for booklet night, where we had this big massive shot, or even in the Kadiwan formals, where you get to see all of the brethren, and you step back, and it's a day later, you get to see shots like this that really just inspire you to see how united the district is and all of the brethren in the church. So this is what we call, Brother RJ, the money shot. So this is this in every event. So big shout out to them for doing that. But the event is also a great opportunity to meet a lot of the different brethren from all over the district, and fans too. Sister Joy, they were fans. Look, we got to pick.
I'm a fan.
Sister, yeah, our biggest fan, Sister Teresa Murph, is here, who, of course, has been a long-standing fan of ours forever on INC Radio, and of course, the district members of the district staff and the ministers that were there watching as well. So they always, even though you're not playing, big supporters, right? Huge supporters of the program, huge supporters of the activity and the event. And when we go to the event, speaking about event, this, of course, basketball is kind of the focal point, right? What we call the highlight, because of the intensity in the game and just the athleticism. And I've got to call out, we had 2 separate, I think, tournaments, right? We had a booklet tournament for the married couples, except the couples weren't playing, just the husbands.
That's true.
I think it'd be interesting if we had
the wives were cheering on.
I think it would be interesting if we had a married couples, husbands versus wives basketball tournament.
Oh, hands down, I think the wives might win.
Yeah, I don't know. Sister Audrey, what do you think?
Agree.
You think the wives would take on, we can't underestimate the strength of the look the wife would give you if you try to steal the ball from her.
I mean, have you seen women's basketball?
Yeah.
You can get, yes.
They'll see you. They just give us one look, brother. I do right, and then we
Yes,
kind of
po.
freeze in our tracks, and you're like, "Here's the ball. Just take it."
Mhm.
I know if Sister Liza showed up, I know like how I do just probably hand her the ball.
Mhm.
And you know what makes that really funny is how tall are you, brother? I do.
6 foot po.
You're 6 foot, and how tall is Sister Liza?
5'3" po.
Yes.
Yeah. But still would own you on the
Oh yeah,
basketball
she
court.
sure would.
Even though I have like 200 pounds on her.
Yeah, it would own you. Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter.
Nope.
So, brother, I'm going to go back to Brother Eduardo because I've got to ask. You know, one of the things in again talking about like timing and how to just make sure that everything kind of flows the way that it's supposed to. When you guys were deciding like the sports, because there's so many sports like for years, right? It's been volleyball. I still remember during Sports Fest. Do you guys remember when we had track and field?
Oh yes.
We had
Yeah.
track and field events.
Yes po. Mhm.
Was not a fan. Didn't like those.
And they're
It involved
outdoors. Yeah.
running. It involved running in the middle of summer in Florida.
Florida.
So, not a fan. But so when you guys decided like what sports you guys wanted this year, how did you guys arrive at like basketball and pickleball? And of course we had speed stack and sports stacking. I think it was in speed cubing. Like what goes into deciding what events you guys want to have in the activity?
Well, at least for this Unity games, or 2 Unity games ago, I should say, we stuck with more volleyball, and that kind of sport, because especially the 2 biggest sports that we play in our district, at least, is basketball, volleyball.
Yep.
Which the last time we didn't get to do basketball, so this time we decided we want to give the brethren what they want to see, and it's the basketball this time. So yeah, and pickleball too. Pickleball, we were kind of
Pickleball.
experimenting with that because that's also a very big sport for Florida in general. So yeah, and a lot of the brethren play pickleball too, and they were pretty excited when they found out that we were adding pickleball. So yeah, it was just really cool to see everyone's excitement about these sports. But yeah, we try to make sure to make the brethren happy, right? So we want to try to incorporate, the sports that they actually want to play, that they actually want to see. So, that's usually how we decide what sports we're going to do for Unity games.
Oh, I think
Cool.
it was well done. It was well done. I mean, a lot of our brethren came out and and then now looking at these photos, they're like, we want more. We want to do it again, right? And that's, I mean, you all did a very good job. Very good job.
Absolutely. I think, and that it's a great point that Brother Eduardo brings up, is that you do this because you want the brethren, obviously, to feel that, they all get to participate, because not everybody is a good volleyball player, right? And not everyone can play basketball. I never could. So, but then you have, other sports that brethren, especially here, because I think this is the first year we've played pickleball. Right, Brother Eduardo? Is this the first year?
Yeah, the very first
Oh,
time.
yes, it is the first.
So it's our first year, sort of our inaugural pickleball tournament. I think I would consider it a success with the number of people that turned out that wanted to play. There were a lot that came out from both districts, and but you want to promote as much participation when you guys do this, and I think that's part of the reason behind trying to kind of mix up the sports. But I won't cry if you don't bring back track and field, so it's okay. If it doesn't make it for like a bunch more years, I'm perfectly fine, because
Just for you, we'll bring it back.
and that's, unless there's like an over 65 masters division where there's only like 2 people running, then me
That will be very interesting to see.
me and one other Lolo. That's it. Just
I was gonna say,
these 2 Lolos running a 40.
bring out the cane and the wheelchairs.
A wheelchair. We'll have the kids pushers and wheelchairs. But those activities, though, it's every year when you see them, that the brethren, no matter like how far they're coming from, because there were Pensacola turned out for this, right? So Pensacola had a pretty decent journey, even though it's up in Jacksonville. It's still, I think, close to 4 hours, isn't it?
It is.
And then,
It's quite the drive, but it's lovely to see. And they're, like the distance didn't matter. Well, it does matter, but they're so happy to be there. And they even, I mean, the sportsmanship involved too. I mean, they sported, their color was yellow, or I'm sorry, maybe not yellow, it's gold,
gold. Yeah,
yeah,
I was
gold,
gonna
we'll say gold, right? But it was just so nice to see. They were even all dressed up with headbands and everything, and they're just happy to be there, ready to play. It was wonderful to see.
Yeah, I think for sure, being able to get together for this really just demonstrates that distance is really not something that impacts the attendance in these activities if everyone's truly united.
Yes.
And that's I guess the biggest lesson that we could pull. And of course, shout out to Miami and West Palm.
Oh yeah.
Those teams all had to come greater distances from the furthest southernmost points of Florida. Maybe in a coming one, we can have some people fly in from the Caribbean, from like Nassau and Turks and Caicos and the Cayman Islands. We'd love to have them join us in an activity. That would be awesome. And so in basketball, you could see here, obviously the finalized teams. I think the winners in the Kadiwa or the Kadiwa basketball was Orlando. Am I mistaken, right?
Yeah.
And then in Buklod, who was it that took that? Sister Joy, do you remember?
I sure do. It was also
Orlando.
That's why I'm at. That was a rhetorical question.
Yeah, so I have to shout out to my Orlando.
Yeah.
Oi, oi, oi. That's our chant right there.
Big shout out to the teams. Brother Edu, you're here down the bottom. You can see the combined Tampa, Sarasota, St. Pete team that was there, because obviously the larger teams can fill all of their roster, but the smaller locales, and that's another great thing.
Yes.
Even though you're a small locale, you might think like, well, we don't have enough people to play. We don't have enough people to form a team. That means I'm not going to get to play. And that's not going to happen, because the organizers want to make sure everyone gets to participate. So they combined teams, which is what they did here. So we had combined team of Tampa, St. Pete, and Sarasota. So I got to ask you, Brother Edu, obviously this is the first time that the three locales played together.
Yes.
Right? So like, basketball is an extremely strategic sport.
Yes.
Right?
You
where
have to build chemistry,
and in a very short amount of time,
Yes.
right? Usually these teams, like, are state champs. The Orlando team, they've played together. They know each other's moves. They know each other's, who's going to do what. How do you guys, because, you guys did move on into the bracket as well. So demonstrated some, but how did you guys establish that with such a little time?
With brotherly love and respect for each other, Paul.
Yeah. Understanding like nobody was being greedy with the ball.
Yes, Paul.
Right. That's a big part of it.
Yes, Paul.
I think,
but they all got to rest. They didn't sub me out.
They left you in there the whole time. Is that why you were limping the next day? I saw him on Tuesday. At the chapel, and he was kind of limping. I was thinking maybe, I think Sister Liza was giving him a hard time or something. That's why he was limping.
It's funny. You don't have to play, but watching the game, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm just going back and forth. I feel, you can feel like you're going back and forth. My muscles are even like, all tensed up. And so, and the cheering.
Yeah, just from cheering.
Well,
and that was one of the things too, when you're watching your teams play, and what's hard, and when you're a parent, especially, Sister Joy, because now your kids are getting older, and then they start to diverge into different sports, is dividing your attention during unity games. It's like, if one's playing volleyball and another one's playing basketball, two different courts, or if one's, in this case, like pickleball versus basketball, because I know that was going on with a lot of the locales. That's where you start splitting the parents. Like, Dad, you go watch Jacob playing basketball.
That's right. That's
And then
right.
I'm gonna go hang out over here and watch the volleyball tournament, right?
That's so funny. That's true. I know some parents that do have older Kadiwa children, and when they have to play on different congregations now, it's cute to watch because they're like, yes, go son. Oh wait, yes, go daughter. Oh go, yes, go son number one, go son number two. And again, like what you said, brotherly love, and you're united, even if you're a parent and you're split between two teams. It's fun. It's really fun to watch, and it's just fun to be there. So
Yeah. So I've got to ask Sister Audrey, what's going to happen when Jamie starts playing like volleyball and you're torn between watching your husband play and him? I mean, where's the loyalty going to lie?
Oh, that's easy. I don't need to be worried because they're going to be on the same court. This is we're working on our lifetime investment of a volleyball team.
Oh, so you're just gonna groom your own volleyball team?
Look, I mean, isn't that why some parents have kids? It's to grow and coach and raise them to be good human beings. No one ever said or limited to raising a good volleyball team.
Oh, I love it.
Not really. No, what I was thinking about when I had kids.
Otherwise, why else would he be this long?
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun to watch.
Watching, yeah, Sister Joy, you're not going to watch from the sidelines, and I'm just going to have those kids pushing me down during that 40-yard dash of the Lolos. Yeah, so I'm going to hold you to that, Brother Eduardo. Okay, track and field, Lola 40-yard dash competition.
I was going to say, love. You heard it here.
And when we were looking at how the athleticism that's involved, but when you look at how the fans were cheering, that was the other thing that to me was really, I think, just such a sight to see. Not just the action on the court, but the action on the sidelines, right? There were a couple of the wives and Lola's, man, we had to kind of like hold them back a little bit because they were like trying to run on the court. And we're saying, okay, you guys aren't in the game. Step back.
Yeah.
But it's that enthusiasm, right? I think the enthusiasm is what really makes it so fun to watch, because even if you're not playing, just being able to cheer them on is such a big part of it all. All right. Let's go to the support here, because I need time to be able to talk to Brother Tristan. He went, and this is before you got to join Strad. We were commenting how Brother Tristan went from pickleball amateur in game one to like pro level player towards the end of his matches there. But the thing I've got to ask though is, you were a tennis player originally, Brother Tristan, is that right?
Right. Well, just to clarify, Robert, I wouldn't say I'm a pro at all. No.
I'm trying to hype you up. This is my hype up.
It's not an understatement. I watched him play in practice and on the court. In practice, his strategy was to hide his best, and then the actual day came.
Game was on. We were watching the curves. Yes, but so you were a tennis player originally. I mean, you play tennis, right?
Well, I played a few times tennis. Yes, also amateur there.
I like how you say it's a few times.
He's leading all of his responses with these clarifying responses. So, let me clarify first.
Oh, but yeah, I played tennis a few times, and I will say that a lot of the skills I think translate over from tennis to pickleball, and it was helpful having a little bit of knowledge there going into pickleball. Honestly, if I had to pick between the two, I think pickleball is definitely a little bit more fun for me, just because it's a more accessible sport, I think, as well. Or it can bring in a lot of different people. Like you mentioned earlier in the show, I think originally it was a sport meant for more of the elderly, more people just wanting to get active. And now lately, I'm sure a lot of our experienced it too. It's really trending right now. So really a great sport and great addition on part of the district team to add for this Unity Games. And I hope that it's one that we can keep doing in the future because it brought in a lot of different brethren, not just young ones like we mentioned. Bookload, Kadiwa, Binhi all played, and a lot of the CWS even.
I was going to say yes. Our CWS, they do. They're interested. Very
Oh yeah,
interested.
Right.
it was so cute because some of them were in there like playing pickleball, and for some of them the paddle was half the size of their body.
But don't underestimate it. I feel like
Yeah.
the most ruthless and honest players were the elderly and the CWS. And when you put them on a court together, my goodness.
Yes.
Well, and you see, and I don't know, I have mixed feelings about this because so us, more mature folks had a sport, right, that we played at our level, and now all of these young people are coming in and like taking the sport and elevating the level of athleticism required to play the sport. Because I'm okay playing pickleball when I'm playing with my fellow 60 and 70-year-olds, but then all of a sudden you get like a 20-year-old on the court who looks like, he just came off the US Open and just changes the game. I don't know. You guys have like your own sports. Leave this to us, right?
Well, that's the interesting thing, Carl, because I've definitely played before with those that are elderly and they're really good. You would think that I'm not sure how they're able to. I would be like running back and forth on the court. Meanwhile, they're just standing still on the other side, hitting the ball back, and I'm struggling just to get their balls and hit it back to them. So it's an interesting sport that can capture all different levels of athleticism, I feel. So.
Well, and what that means is that you have, as you start to get older and you become less mobile, then you have to play smarter, not harder. Which means that so if you've ever played Sister Audrey's dad, Brother James, that's the way, at least when I play with him, he has me running around the court like I'm trying to sweep it for dirt. In the meantime, he's just standing in the middle, just hitting the ball to all the different corners. So
sorry, Brother Robert. Pickleball to him is like a puppet show.
and I'm the puppet. I'm literally the puppet. He's got me on strings running around. I could see him in the back going, watch what I'm going to make Brother Robert do next. And then he hits the ball and I'm like falling off the court. So, and as you can see here, I took the time to take this one photo with Brother Jonathan and Sister Lane, who were our competition between me and Brother Mike, who joined forces to do it. And, our combined experience was 5 days of pickleball between the two of us. And, got through that first round. I've got to tell you, Brother Jonathan and Sister Lane, definite ballers. And after that one match, I didn't walk for 3 days. So don't underestimate the athleticism needed for pickleball. But speaking about athleticism, on the bottom right here, and we're going to talk about your run through the competition there, Brother Tristan, is if you guys could see down at the bottom right, we have a young brother from he's from Kissimmee, right? Brother Colin Potes. I'm going to give him a shout out because when you talk about athleticism, he plays pickleball like he's playing volleyball. He's like
Yes.
He's hitting shots 5 feet off the ground. And I think you said, Brother Tristan, when you played him, that was a specific purpose for that, right?
Oh yeah, I've had the first-hand experience playing with Brother Colin, and like I said, he's an amazing volleyball player. This is my first time playing pickleball with him, and he would definitely show those volleyball skills while playing against him. I think personally to intimidate the other team. And let me say, it did work. It was definitely a good game with me and my partner, Brother RJ. But yeah, very intimidating and a very good player.
So when you're playing against, because you obviously played and made it to the, I think it was a third round, right? You guys played a total 3 matches?
Yes, yeah.
3 matches, so it got you to, I guess that would be the equivalent of like the semifinals?
I think it would be the semifinals. The one
semifinals. Okay, yes. Right before. And so who did you end up playing? So on the bottom left is your who is that you were playing? I can't see the
Oh,
screen.
yeah, so the bottom left was our second game, and that was with Sister Angel and Brother Justin from Miami in the District of Caribbean.
Okay.
So it was really great to be able to join them and play against them. We haven't seen them in a while. Like you mentioned before, we all used to be one district, so every opportunity we get to see each other in activities like this is really a great time. You know, brings
Mhm.
back the nostalgic days of when we all used to be together. And of course, playing sports like pickleball is a great opportunity just to bring people together. And it was a friendly competition, good vibes, and yeah, really great to see them.
And then on the top, I think that's West Palm you played, right?
Right, yeah, and that was our third game that we did end up losing, unfortunately. But to their skills, those two brothers from West Palm, they're really, really good. They actually went on to the actual semifinals after beating me and PRJ very, very easily, I would say.
Well, you guys put up a good fight.
Thank you, thank you. That means a lot. But yes, from West Palm, very skilled pickleball players for sure.
And I think the overall winners were it was brother Andy
Yes.
and
Right, and his brother
And
Winston.
Brother Stone.
Yeah, yeah.
Brother Stone.
They're from Kissimmee, and must be their parents must be so proud to have two sons that are so athletic, so very
that's
good.
right. They're brothers. That's right. I forgot about this. So they actually had some time together to practice, probably, right?
Yes, yeah, and it's just a different level of gameplay. I think I believe it was them versus the two brothers from West Palm, and you know, really they were equally matched going into the finals. It could have been anybody's win, and you know, it was a very engaging game. Great crowd that was watching, and yeah, you could just tell the different level of skill when it came to those final two teams. Really back and forth so quick. My head was just going like this the entire time.
So when you play pickleball, now that you did sort of this transition between tennis and pickleball and you're bouncing back and forth, what would be some advice you would give to somebody who wants to start playing pickleball? What's the one skill that you would advise them to start really working on?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, definitely something I'm still working on myself is figuring out the positioning of where to be on the court at a time. Um, from what I've heard from people that are a lot better than me, is that you want to start from the back, and then as the game progresses, slowly move forward, and then you know, kind of go to the back again to slow the game down if you need to, and then kind of have that natural flow of going forward, moving back, and it makes sense. I just usually lose the ball after going forward once, so never get far enough to go back to keep the game
Somebody will
going.
lob the ball over your head. But that's kind of the strategy if you're playing doubles, right? You want to have somebody who's in the front, somebody who's in the back, or
Right, yeah. I've seen a lot of different strategies when it comes to that. People playing from the back versus the front. Really, another great thing is finding just a great partner that you mesh well with. Can make a huge difference if there's chemistry there. You guys have that telepathy to tell, like, oh, I got this one. Really helps a lot, just like with any team sports. And of course, practice. The more that you play, the better you'll get overall. Just feeling.
or like in my case, I find a partner that knows how to play, so I just sit in the back and watch. I just let them stay in the front. And brother Edu, have you ever played pickleball?
No po.
You've not had a chance yet? Because I'd figure
yet,
with
no.
your 6 foot height and wingspan, you'd be the partner I'd look for to just kind of take care of everything in the front, so I could sit in the back and relax. It would be. It's a new sport that definitely is getting a lot of attention, a lot of traction,
Yes,
especially now. So I mean, and really, I just wanted to just go around the group that we have here and ask, because what about the Unity games for you guys do you feel is such, probably your favorite part? And I'm going to start with you, Sister Audrey, since you're here on the bottom part of my screen. I hear Brother Jamie already jumping in on what his favorite part is.
He's very excited. This was actually his first Unity games.
Mhm.
So he very much enjoyed all the loving from the brethren in Caribbean and in Florida. So it was a really good time bringing a baby to to an event like Unity Games.
Oh, just wait till he starts running.
I can wait. I can wait. I will say the abundance in babysitters is really nice. I think my favorite part is just the competition. I mean, because when we're in a lot of activities with church, it requires you to work together and just kind of promote that piece, right? But there's another bond and another aspect when it comes to competition. So you're almost like in a different work mode. And it's like I loved watching the booklet basketball, like with Brother Edu. It's like when you have brethren that haven't worked together or like meshed together before, when you see them and it's crunch time and they're on the same page, it's a beautiful dance to watch. So being a participant and a bystander, it's very entertaining. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. What about you, Brother RJ? What's your favorite part of the Unity games? And you can't say when it's all over and you're sleeping in your bed.
I was about to say that. You call me right.
He said when they go out to eat after.
Oh yes, that part too. But I think what's my most favorite part about the Unity games is in the name itself, the unity part of it. Being able to unite with all the brethren across the district, and being able to participate, be able to join in, be able to see all these various brethren with their different skills, be able to play in all the different games. And it's also so like heartwarming too, because you don't normally maybe you see there are regular locales that there may be brethren that you don't really see at activities, but at the uni games, that's a different story, because a lot of brethren are more into sports, so you maybe see them more in activities such as the Unity games, which we were able to see. But I was really glad to be a part of that and be able to see that the brethren that maybe don't usually come out to activities were able to come out to the Unity games. And there's also the fact that, like I was mentioning, skills too. Some of these skills the brethren you also use that they learn from outside church and be able to bring it into these kinds of activities, which is the Unity games, and being able to be a part of these activities. They are able to strengthen their skills. And for me, I'm able to strengthen my skills as even a multimedia officer, be able to learn, continue also adapting to my media skills. And what's kind of interesting too, instead of me learning it from outside of church, I actually learned it while being in church, being in my office, being at those activities. And instead I use what I learned from there and bring it to the outside of church for all different media purposes. So that's really what makes Unity games and these kind of activities special to me.
So well put, Brother RJ.
Yes.
And it was a far cry from what I thought he was going to say, because usually Benhi say when I got to go home and sleep. That's what I usually hear from Benhi.
Oh no, I still enjoyed that part. That was still my favorite part.
What about you, Brother Eduardo? Because you've been involved in Unity games for a variety of them. What was your favorite part?
Yeah,
this one.
Personally for me, I mean, Brother RJ kind of already said it, but just being able to really see everyone again, especially, we brought District of Caribbean back with us, so it's kind of like we were bringing the band back together,
Yes.
But yeah, it's just I was like talking to some of the my Miami brethren. It was just really fun and really cool to see each other again. Yeah, that's just my favorite part, just being able to be with the brethren again. I know I usually, whenever there's like big activities like this, I usually like to take a step back, especially as an organizer. You just want to see how everyone's doing. So whenever like, through activities like this, I just take a step back. I just look at everyone's faces, and you just see like a whole bunch of smiles. You hear like a lot of laughter. And as an organizer, even though like you sacrifice sleep, you sacrifice energy, time to put events like this together, it's very fulfilling to be able to see the brethren enjoying their time together. But yeah, that's really my favorite part. Just seeing everyone happy, makes me happy.
Well, it makes I think, and it brings joy. Okay, that's number 5.
That's why I'm here.
To everybody. Yeah, just a reminder that I have to use that word.
Yes.
All right. Great answer, Brother Eduardo. Okay, Brother Tristan, what was yours? Making it to the pickleball semifinals, was that your favorite part?
That was part of it for sure, but I think what everybody mentioned is definitely also something that I really cherish about these type of activities. But another thing is also what comes before the actual day of the event. Like Sister Audrey said, that spirit of competition, I think, motivates a lot of locales to dedicate time to practice these sports, get together on their own time before the activity. And those opportunities are really fun to look back on because it brings the locale together as well. Aside from the actual day of the activity, spending time playing these sports, practicing them, really fosters that sense of brotherhood within the locale. And then you bring that energy to the day of and share that with all the other locales. And then it's just a really great time, a great event. And I think that really is showcased by, like what Brother Eddie said, when you look around, everybody's smiling, everybody's having a great time. So definitely don't want to miss these type of events for sure.
That's such a satisfying feeling. I know. So, in Brother Edu, for you, is it what was your favorite part? Was it the recovery when you could start walking straight again, or?
Yes, po. But I like the unity of the brethren and the Christian competition, and shouting with you, Brother Robert, the TAMPA Tampa Scala win today.
It's what they say. If you can't play, you have to have spirit, and I have a lot of spirit. So, and a lot of spirit and very little voice, but that's and thank you for being right there with me, Brother Edu. I mean, he's my hype man. Brother Edu's my hype man. He's right there behind me. I could hear him.
He's your hype and your height. Your hype man.
He's my hype man. So if I can't see something, I ask him to reach it for me. Oh, thank you. And Sister Joy, what about you?
I think everyone here just said it all. Just being united together, no matter what the task is, no matter what our role is, just that right there, coming together, being united in these games and these activities. I think I can well speak for the District of Florida. Any activity, we want to be there. But put unity games there, we will be united all the more, and we will show up. We will be there. We are all in. And we love this. So we're looking forward to the next one. I mean, we had fun. We're talking about all the fun that we had, but we're looking forward to the next one for sure.
That's right. Well, and if that's the goal in the Unity Games, is to have it be such a momentous and memorable occasion that everyone else is looking forward to the next one, then shout out. You guys did a great job, because that's mission accomplished, right? Mission accomplished, because everyone felt the unity, the love, and the fellowship, and most importantly, everybody wants to look forward to the next one. And that leads me to one comment that I do want to read in our YouTube chat, is from our beloved sister Melka Newcomb, the wife of our district minister, Brother Lowell, who put out, shout out to all the CFO district officers, local officers that were led by the ministers and the workers here in our district. Praise be to God. Thanks so much. Of course, INCRadio for featuring the Florida State Unity Games. But I have to echo that, because this event couldn't be possible without the unity of the officers in our Christian family organizations, from the Kadiwa, the Buklud, the Binhis, every one of you who stepped up and helped to make sure that this event was something that the brethren could all benefit from. A lot of times people don't see behind the scenes, all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it. Hopefully no blood. Well, maybe when you're blowing up a balloon and your finger gets it's all of that hard work that goes into this. And I just want to extend, of course, on behalf of those who are participants, our appreciation to all of you that helped to put this together for this district and for this activity. And we can't thank you enough for having done that. You truly showed you're united in this district to be able to do that. But, as we always say, Sister Joy, we're down to the bottom
Can you
of
believe
the hour. That was the fastest 60 minutes that I've seen. Unbelievable. I want to thank, of course, those that helped to put the show together. Our beloved executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, Brother Angelo Rania Manalo, our CEBSI CEO, CFO coordinator, who helps to really promote our program always. Thank you so much, both, for that. Brother Manley and Daya, our executive producer, and to Brother Wally Tarai, our station manager. This is Brother Robert Tapalas here in Tampa, Florida, who was just a spectator in the Unity Games, but absolutely loved it. And of course, for Sister Joy, who's one of our co-hosts there in Orlando, Florida, to Brother Edu, who's one of our wonderful panelist guests today from here in Tampa as well, and Brother Tristan from here in Tampa. Brother Eduardo, thank you for joining us there in Jacksonville, Florida today in organizing these games. Brother RJ Clemente, our nonstop, fully caffeinated Binhi district president, who keeps us running and gets us all these beautiful shots. And of course, his sister Audrey, our wonderful co-host here in Tampa. We want to wish you all a happy Saturday. Thank you for joining us today here on INCRadio Florida. Stay tuned, because next week we're going to have another special program for you here every Saturday morning at 9:30. Stay tuned, because Washington, D.C. is coming up next.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice